Number 12. Port St. Lucie, Florida. As we move on, the comfort starts to improve, but so do the costs. You're not talking about a tiny town anymore. Around 205,000 people live here. It's one of Florida's fastest growing cities. And honestly, nobody's quite sure why it keeps expanding. This Atlantic coast city sits halfway between Miami and Orlando, and it's got suburbs, strip malls, and a suspicious number of golf courses. Homes here typically go for around $405,000. And yes, prices are still rising. One-bedroom rent averages $1,680 per month. Cost of living sits roughly 2% above the national average. Florida perks apply, no state income tax, Social Security untaxed, and property taxes in St. Lucie County average around 0.93%. Healthcare is the big selling point here. Cleveland Clinic Tradition Hospital is the crown jewel, a 240-bed acute care facility with cardiac care, surgical services, and a stellar reputation. Climate is classic South Florida. Summer highs hit 90 to 92 degrees from May through September, with brutal humidity. Here's Port St. Lucie's problem. It's growing fast. Traffic is getting worse. Schools are overcrowded, and that sleepy beach town vibe is disappearing under the weight of new construction. Good for retirees who want proximity to beaches, strong healthcare, and don't mind suburban sprawl. Not for anyone who values small-town charm or thinks traffic should stay in Miami. A local said it best. Port St. Lucie is great if you moved here 5 years ago. Now it's just crowded. And if Port St. Lucie felt like it was losing its soul, the next place somehow kept its soul and its sanity. Number 11, Tucson, Arizona. The metro area has just over 540,000 residents. It's the second largest city in Arizona, and proof that you can have big city amenities without Phoenix-level chaos. This Sonoran desert city is surrounded by mountains, cactus, and enough hiking trails to keep you busy until you're 90. Median home price sits around $316,000, actually down about 1.6% from last year. One-bedroom rent averages $874 per month, which is 46% below the national average. Cost of living sits roughly 1% higher than the US average. So it's basically even. Arizona perks apply, no state income tax, Social Security untaxed, and property taxes in Pima County average around 0.76%. Healthcare here is excellent. Banner University Medical Center, Tucson, is Southern Arizona's only Level 1 trauma center, a 649-bed teaching hospital affiliated with the University of Arizona. They've got transplant programs, cancer care, and stroke centers. Climate is desert perfection if you can handle heat. Summer highs hit 100 to 104 degrees from June through August. It's dry heat, but it's still intense. Winters, though, sublime, mid-60s to low 70s, with almost zero humidity. Here's what makes Tucson work. It's got culture. The University of Arizona brings arts, music, and sports. The food scene is underrated. And unlike Phoenix, it doesn't feel like you're living on Mars. Not for anyone who thinks 104 degrees is a human rights violation. One local said it best. Tucson's hot, cheap, and weirdly charming. Just don't expect anyone to use turn signals. And if Tucson felt like Arizona's best-kept secret, the next place is basically Arizona's second best-kept secret. Number 10, New Smyrna Beach, Florida. It's home to just over 30,000 residents, where surfing meets retirement, and somehow both work. This Atlantic coast gem sits 15 miles south of Daytona Beach, and it's got everything Daytona has, minus the spring break chaos, and plus actual charm. Most houses here land in the $400,000 to $58,000 range, and that's actually down about 14% from last year, which is rare for Florida. One-bedroom rent averages $1,495 per month. Cost of living is roughly 3% above the national average, so not cheap. But for beachfront Florida, it's reasonable. Florida perks apply: no state income tax, Social Security untaxed, and property taxes in Volusia County average around 1.02%. Healthcare options here are limited. Advent Health New Smyrna Beach is your local facility, a faith-based hospital with emergency services and outpatient care. For serious stuff, you're about 30 minutes from Halifax Health Medical Center in Daytona, a full Level 2 trauma center. Climate is classic East Coast Florida. Summer highs hit 88 to 91 degrees from June through September, with afternoon thunderstorms that somehow always last about 17 minutes. Here's what makes New Smyrna special. It's an actual town with personality. Art galleries, local restaurants, a thriving surf culture, and 17 miles of white sand beaches. The Flagler Tavern has live music every night, and locals actually go there. But there's a catch. Hurricane risk is real. 100% of properties face extreme wind risk over the next 30 years, and 66% face severe flooding risk. Insurance costs reflect that reality. Good for active retirees who want beach life, surf culture, and don't mind hurricane season prep. Not for anyone on a strict budget or anyone who thinks evacuation drills sound stressful. A local said it best: New Smyrna is paradise 9 months a year. The other 3, you're either evacuating or repairing something the hurricane broke. And if New Smyrna felt like surf town perfection, the next place is basically Florida's horse country, with better weather. Number 9, Melbourne, Palm Bay, Florida. Combined population is around 280,000. This is Florida's Space Coast, where rocket launches light up the sky and retirement costs don't require a NASA salary. These twin cities sit on Florida's East Coast, about an hour south of Orlando, and they're quietly becoming one of the state's best retirement values. Median home price in Melbourne sits around $372,000. Palm Bay is cheaper, closer to $315,000. One-bedroom rent averages about $1,450 in Melbourne and around $1,320 in Palm Bay. Cost of living is roughly 2% below the national average. Florida perks apply: no state income tax, Social Security untaxed, and property taxes in Brevard County average around 0.91%. Healthcare here is solid. Health First Homes Regional Medical Center in Melbourne is a 514-bed facility with cardiac care, cancer treatment, and trauma services. Health First Palm Bay Hospital rounds out the coverage. Both are part of the Health First system, which has a strong regional reputation. Climate is typical Central Florida. Winters are gorgeous. Mid-70s, dry, perfect. Here's the Space Coast advantage. You get beach access, proximity to Orlando, and you can literally watch rocket launches from Kennedy Space Center, about 30 minutes north. It's weirdly cool. Not for anyone who thinks rocket launches sound disruptive instead of awesome. Would you live somewhere where SpaceX launches shake your windows twice a month? Yes or nah? And if watching rockets felt like peak Florida, the next place is basically Texas, but with better BBQ. Number 8, Punta Gorda, Florida. Translated literally, the name means fat point, which is funny because this Gulf Coast town is anything but fat. It's sleek, quiet, and weirdly perfect for retirement. Population is around 20,000. This Charlotte Harbor gem sits between Fort Myers and Sarasota, and it gives you waterfront living without waterfront insanity. Median home price sits around $385,000. One-bedroom rent averages about $1,300 per month, and the cost of living is roughly 4% below the national average. Florida perks apply: no state income tax, Social Security untaxed, and property taxes in Charlotte County average around 0.95%. Healthcare is solid. Bayfront Health Punta Gorda is your main facility, a 208-bed acute care hospital with cardiac care, surgical services, and a solid reputation. For specialty care, Lee Health in Fort Myers is about 45 minutes south. Climate, this is Gulf Coast perfection. Summer highs hit around 91 to 93 degrees, but Gulf breezes actually help. Here's Punta Gorda's real secret. It's quiet. The average age here is 68. Pickleball tournaments are the main social event. Downtown has galleries, waterfront dining, and more golf carts than actual cars. Good for retirees who want peace, waterfront living, and a community that actually ages together. Not for anyone under 60 who needs nightlife or thinks early bird special is an insult. A local joked, Punta Gorda is great if you love sunsets, kayaking, and being in bed by 9 p.m. If you need more than that, you're in the wrong zip code. Days move slowly here, and honestly, that's kind of the point. In the next town, things move faster, but services are a lot easier to reach. Number 7, Venice, Florida, home to about 25,500 people, and a place where retirees hunt for shark teeth on the beach like it's a competitive sport. This Gulf Coast gem sits between Sarasota and Fort Myers, and it's got that kind of small-town charm that makes people forget Florida has alligators and humidity. Median home price sits around $440,000. One-bedroom rent averages about $1,650 per month, and the cost of living sits right at the national average. Florida perks apply: no state income tax, Social Security untaxed, and property taxes in Sarasota County average around 0.91%. Healthcare here is excellent. Venice Regional Bayfront Health is your main facility, a 312-bed acute care hospital with cardiac care, surgical services, and a stroke center. Patient reviews are surprisingly strong for a town this size. Climate is classic Gulf Coast. Winters are perfect, mid-70s, breezy, basically zero humidity. Here's what really makes Venice special. Shark teeth. Seriously, Venice Beach is known as the shark tooth capital of the world. Retirees walk the beach at low tide, collecting fossilized shark teeth like they're seashells, and somehow it's weirdly addictive. Good for active retirees who want Gulf access. A bit of culture, and a hobby that involves hunting for prehistoric predator teeth. So be honest, would you spend your retirement hunting for shark teeth? Yes, obviously, or no, that's just weird. And if Venice felt like Florida's quirky cousin, the next place is basically Venice, but bigger and with a lot more canals. Number 6, Fort Myers and Cape Coral, Florida. Combined population, around 319,000. This is Southwest Florida's retirement capital, where canals outnumber roads, and everyone owns a boat they use about twice a year. These twin cities sit on the Caloosahatchee River, leading straight to the Gulf, and they're proof that affordable Florida waterfront still exists if you know where to look. Median home price in Fort Myers sits around $380,000. Cape Coral is similar, at about $385,000. One-bedroom rent averages roughly $1,550 in Fort Myers and about $1,480 in Cape Coral. Overall cost of living is about 1% below the national average. Florida perks apply: no state income tax, Social Security untaxed, and property taxes in Lee County average around 0.87%. Healthcare here is outstanding. Lee Health operates multiple facilities, including Gulf Coast Medical Center, a 417-bed Level 2 trauma center, and Lee Memorial Hospital, a massive 795-bed facility. These are some of the best hospitals in all of Southwest Florida. Climate is hot. Summer highs routinely hit 92 to 94 degrees from May through September with brutal humidity. Here's the Fort Myers and Cape Coral advantage. You get Gulf access by boat. You're close to Sanibel and Captiva. And there's a huge retiree community here that actually supports the local infrastructure. But there's a real risk. Hurricane season is not theoretical here. Both cities face severe wind and flood risk. Hurricane Ian in 2022 caused catastrophic damage. And yes, insurance costs reflect that reality. Good for boat-loving retirees who want waterfront living, strong healthcare, and don't mind doing hurricane prep like it's a seasonal hobby. Not for anyone on a strict budget or anyone who thinks evacuation route shouldn't be part of daily vocabulary. A local said it best, "Fort Myers is paradise with a side of plywood. You'll love it 9 months a year and spend the other 3 boarding up windows." So far, we've covered the safe choices. The top 5? That's where things get really interesting. Number 5, New Braunfels, Texas, population about 105,000, where German heritage meets Texas heat and somehow creates the perfect retirement cocktail. This central Texas gem sits between San Antonio and Austin, right along the Guadalupe River, and it's got tubing, breweries, and housing costs that won't require selling organs. Median home price sits around $380,000 as of late 2025, and yes, it's rising fast. One-bedroom rent averages about $1,380 per month. Cost of living is roughly 1% above the national average. Texas perks apply: no state income tax, Social Security untaxed, and if you're over 65, you get a property tax freeze. Property taxes in Comal County average around 2.1%, which is high, but the freeze helps a lot. Healthcare is solid. Christus Santa Rosa Hospital in New Braunfels is a 94-bed acute care facility with emergency services and surgical care. And for serious stuff, you're about 30 minutes from University Health in San Antonio, one of Texas's top hospital systems. Climate is aggressively hot. Summer highs routinely hit 97 to 100 degrees from June through August. But the Guadalupe and Comal rivers provide relief. Tubing here isn't a vacation activity, it's a lifestyle. Here's what makes New Braunfels special. It's growing fast, but it hasn't lost its soul. German culture is everywhere. Wurstfest and the Sausage Festival draws over 100,000 people every year. Downtown still has real charm, and the river keeps things fun, even when the heat is trying to kill you. Not for budget-first retirees or anyone allergic to German polka music. Reddit nailed it. New Braunfels is perfect if you like river tubing, German food, and pretending you're not slowly becoming part of Austin's sprawl. And if New Braunfels felt like Texas's hidden gem, the next place is basically Florida's retirement theme park. Number 4, The Villages, Florida, the most controversial retirement community in America. It's either heaven on earth or a dystopian golf cart nightmare, depending on who you ask. Population, about 79,000. This massive planned community sits between Orlando and Ocala, and it has more golf courses than most cities have parks. Median home price sits around $420,000. Monthly HOA fees average about $200 to $400. Rent? Good luck. Most properties here are owner-occupied. Florida perks apply: no state income tax, Social Security untaxed. Property taxes in Sumter County average around 0.76%, one of the lowest in Florida. Healthcare access here is excellent. UF Health The Villages Hospital and Advent Health The Villages are both full-service facilities. Combined, they offer over 500 beds, plus cardiac care, cancer treatment, and surgical services. For a retirement community, this is unusually strong healthcare coverage. Climate is classic Central Florida hot. Summer highs hit 92 to 94 degrees from June through August. Here's the village's real identity. It's designed entirely for active retirees. There are more than 50 golf courses, over 3,000 clubs and activities, live entertainment every single night, and more pickleball courts than exist in most states. But it's not for everyone. The Villages has rules. Lots of rules. Paint colors are regulated, lawn height is monitored, and the demographic is overwhelmingly white and politically conservative. Some people love that. Others run screaming. And if the Villages felt a little too structured, the next place is basically the Villages' artsy, rebellious cousin. Number 3, Sarasota, Florida, with around 58,000 residents. This is where art and beaches collide, and neither comes cheap. This Gulf Coast city sits between Tampa and Fort Myers, and it has everything: beaches, arts, dining, and enough visible wealth to make you quietly recheck your retirement savings. A typical home here runs about $515,000. A one-bedroom apartment averages around $1980 per month. And yes, the overall cost of living comes in about 8% higher than the national average. Florida perks still apply. No state income tax. Social Security untaxed. Property taxes in Sarasota County average around 0.91%. Healthcare here is world-class. Sarasota Memorial Hospital is an 839-bed, Level 2 trauma center, consistently ranked among the best hospitals in Florida. Climate is Gulf Coast perfection. Summer highs hit 90 to 92 degrees from June through August, with afternoon storms that cool things off. Briefly, here's what really makes Sarasota special. Culture. You've got the Ringling Museum of Art, a thriving theater scene, world-class dining, and Siesta Key Beach, consistently ranked America's #1 beach, with sand so white, it literally squeaks under your feet. But let's be honest, Sarasota is not cheap. This is where wealthy retirees go when they want paradise and status. If you're on a strict budget, you will feel it here. A local once said it best: Sarasota is perfect if you're rich. If you're not, it's a beautiful place to visit and then cry about rent. So here's the real question. Would you pay premium prices for America's best beach and world-class culture? Yes or no? And if Sarasota felt expensive, but still tempting, wait until you see number 2. Everyone will guess it, but the price might surprise you. Number 2, Naples, Florida. Home to about 19,500 people, and the town everyone expects to see at number 1. Honestly, it almost was. This Southwest Florida paradise sits right on the Gulf Coast, with white sand beaches, luxury shopping, and enough visible wealth to fund a small country. Home prices here start around $625,000, and that's for something modest. Luxury properties? Those regularly push past $2 million. A one-bedroom apartment typically rents for about $2,100 a month. And overall, the cost of living runs roughly 12% above the national average. Florida perks still apply. No state income tax, Social Security untaxed. Property taxes in Collier County average around 0.74%, which is actually low, considering how expensive everything else is. Healthcare here is exceptional. NCH Baker Hospital, downtown Naples, and NCH North Naples Hospital are both part of the NCH healthcare system. Combined, that's over 700 beds, with cardiac care, cancer treatment, surgical services, and even concierge medicine options. Climate is classic Southwest Florida. Summer highs hit 91 to 93 degrees from June through August, with humidity that reminds you you're definitely in Florida. Here's what makes Naples legendary. It's pristine. Naples Pier, 5th Avenue South, the Botanical Garden, world-class golf courses, and a level of polish that makes other Florida towns look a little rough around the edges. But Naples has a reputation problem. It's expensive, it's exclusive, and it's very wealthy. If you're not financially comfortable, you will feel out of place here. Good for affluent retirees who want the absolute best Florida has to offer and can afford luxury pricing. Not for anyone on a fixed budget, or anyone who thinks $2,100 in rent is a war crime. But here's the twist. Naples is amazing, but it's not number one, because our top pick offers Naples-level quality at Bonita Springs prices. And that's the whole point of this list. One gives you bragging rights, the other gives you an extra decade of financial breathing room. So let's reveal number one. Bonita Springs in Estero area, Florida, combined population around 90,000. These neighboring towns sit between Naples and Fort Myers, and together, they offer the best overall retirement value in Florida. Here's why they win. Median home prices in Bonita Springs sit around $475,000. Estero is similar, at about $455,000. That's dramatically cheaper than Naples. One-bedroom rent averages about $1,850 in Bonita and around $1,780 in Estero. Overall cost of living, roughly 6% above the national average. Florida perks still apply. No state income tax, Social Security untaxed. Property taxes average about 0.87% in Lee County for Estero and 0.74% in Collier County for Bonita. Now here's the part that really matters. You're 15 minutes from Lee Health Gulf Coast Medical Center and about 20 minutes from NCH Baker Hospital in Naples. You get access to Southwest Florida's best healthcare without paying Naples prices. Climate, basically identical to Naples. Summer highs hit 91 to 93 degrees from June through August. Winters are perfect, mid-70s, breezy, exactly what people imagine when they picture retiring in Florida. Here's what makes Bonita Springs and Estero the smartest pick. You get Gulf access, you get proximity to Naples and Fort Myers, you get strong healthcare, and you save roughly $150,000 on housing compared to Naples. You're 10 minutes from Barefoot Beach and Bonita Beach. Both are stunning. You're 15 minutes from Naples culture and shopping. You're 30 minutes from Fort Myers amenities. And you're paying significantly less for all of it. The trade-off? You don't get Naples prestige, but if you're retiring for quality of life instead of status, that's not a trade-off. That's a win. Good for smart retirees who want Naples-level quality without Naples-level prices, not for status seekers who need to say, I live in Naples, at cocktail parties. A local said it best. Bonita Springs is what happens when you're smart enough to want paradise, but practical enough to save $200,000. And that's why Bonita Springs and Estero are number one. It's not the cheapest town on this list. That was Sebring. It's not the most famous. That was Naples. It's not the most cultured. That was Sarasota. But it is the smartest overall balance of cost, quality, healthcare, location, and livability for the average retiree in 2026. I know some of you are mad Naples isn't number one. Let's fight about it in the comments, because every town on this list works for someone. The real question is, which one works for you? And remember, retirement doesn't have to mean choosing between broke or bored. Sometimes it just means choosing the right zip code.